Hello, it's the third, and in this video I'm going to be going over sorting in Python. There are two ways to do this. There is sort and sorted. Sort is a method, which means you would have the iterable. So let's say you have a list and you have it before sort, you do list.sort, then there are two parentheses. There are two optional inputs or arguments that you can have in sort. There is reverse and there is key. If reverse is false, which it automatically is false, so you don't need to put anything in it. If it's false, it would order things from smallest to largest. So minus 100 would be before 0, which would be before 100. Capital A would be before capital Z, but uppercase letters come before lowercase letters. So capital A would come before lowercase a. The key is a custom sort, which means if you have a certain thing you want to sort out that is not reverse, you can add the function in and it will do it to that criteria. Sorted is similar, but it is a function, not a method. It has sorted, then within the parentheses, you have to add the iterable. You can't do the iterable dot sorted, that's not a thing. And that's because it will create an entirely new list or a new iterable that you have sorted. The reverse and key are exactly the same. Just note that with sort, you are changing the original list, and with sorted, you are duplicating the list and then sorting it. So hopefully you now know the theory of it, and I'm going to get into the coding. Just remember that sort is a method, but sorted is a function. And I myself might get confused when I'm speaking about it, but just know that sort is different from sorted. We have two lists over here. Right now, we are going to be sorting my list using the sort method. So I have whatever list I have, the iterable, and I put dot sort, empty parentheses, and we get a sorted list. Even the duplicates, the sorted, they're just right next to each other. Over here with the sorted function, we're not going to use a new variable right now. Just put in a new iterable that you created within the parentheses, and it gets sorted just the same. Over here, you see we are sorting a previously declared list, and we're storing it as list2. So this is the original list, and this is the list that we have now sorted. Note that it's now in a new variable that's called list2. So I can still access the original list if I wanted to. Over here, we have the reverse. So we have a new list called mylist, and using the sort method, we are going to be sorting it, but in reverse. So instead of 1, 2, 3, it should be 3, 2, 1, which you can see appears right there. And that's because reverse is true. Before, nothing was added in, so it's assumed reverse was false. Exact same thing, but with sorted. Just stored it in a new variable, and it's right there. You don't have to store it into a new variable. You can just do print then the sorted list. However, because you're not storing it in a new variable, it means you cannot access that list again, because you can't call upon it. But it's still the exact same. You can use this idea of you're not storing it into a new variable as a check system. So we have an if statement over another conditional thing could work, where you're comparing the original list just to see if it is sorted. When you add custom functions and that kind of thing, you can add that on. So it's more like tailored to whatever you want. But as a basic example, you're trying to see if the list is sorted. So if the list isn't sorted, which is what that means, then you can sort it afterwards. And it checks it by this statement here, because it makes an entirely new list and then it compares it. Because that's not stored in a variable, it just discards it at the end. But if it is the same, it still discards the list, but you obviously don't sort it again. It's wherever you want gets executed. If you do want to convert it back into a set or tuple, because you're using it as a set or tuple, you can just set a new variable and then store it as either set or tuple. So how this works is you get whatever you want. So this is a set of numbers. You sort it, which converts it into a list. You then apply the set function, which then converts it back into a set. So you get a sorted set. And then you could do the same with tuple and get a sorted tuple. Do note that with a set, it's not exactly like a list or tuple. It's immutable, I think that's the word. Basically, sets have no duplicates, and there's no order to sets. So even though it's sorted, it might not be sorted when you call upon it again, which you can see over here actually, because -10 is not at the beginning. That's why. But if you do want to do that for whatever reason, you can do it. So getting into the more custom functions, we have a list of fruits called banana, apple, pear, orange, and xberry. When we print out the list, but we sort it by the length, we get this. So what it does is it goes through each one and compares the length of the characters. And then if it's bigger or smaller, it then allocates it based on how big or small it is. So pear is the smallest, then it's apple, then banana, and so on. You can reverse it and you get, so pear will be last because that is the smallest, and then it'll be apple. Now with these three, this is an important thing you need to understand about sorting. You can see that it's not the opposite order, and that's because it's the exact same length. Banana has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then orange has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and xberry has 6. So we have 3 6s. What it does is it goes to the first one, sees that banana has 6 letters, then goes to apple. Apple doesn't have 6, it has less, so it moves it behind banana. Think of it like that. Pear has even smaller, so it moves it down below. That's why apple and pear are in this order here. But with orange and xberry, both of them have 6. So because they're not smaller than banana, they're just added right next to it, which is how you get banana, orange, xberry. Now, if you don't want this, you can make a custom function called reverse the length. The commented here is the exact same as this. It's using list comprehension. I'm just going to go over this, and as a challenge, you can try and see how it makes sense as the list comprehension. Generally, I personally don't like list comprehension. I find it more difficult to read. So the words are the input, that is the list. You are then making a new variable and sorting it by its length. We just declare a list here, and then you iterate through each one of x, but you reverse it. So x has a certain list, let's say it's that, and then when you reverse it, instead of going from pear, apple, banana, orange, xberry, you now go from xberry, orange, banana, apple, pear. So going on to keys and custom keys, we have a list of fruit here, and sorting out by length, we have this list where it goes from the smallest to largest. And what it does is it goes to the first item in the list. Banana has 6 letters, so it just identifies banana as 6. Apple has less, it has 5. Pear has 4. So because apple has 5, it compares it. 5 is less than 6, so it moves it before banana. Pear is even smaller, so goes to banana, it's smaller than banana. Goes to apple, it's smaller than apple, so pear is right in front. Orange and xberry both have 6, and because 6 isn't smaller than 6, it places it right next to banana, so you get banana, orange, xberry. This means that when we apply the reverse to it, we get pear and apple at the very end, like it should, but the order of banana, orange, xberry is still there because all of them have 6, so none of them are placed before banana. Now, there are 2 ways to solve this. One of them is what you probably should do in real life. The other one, I'm teaching you to try and explain the problem solving and mental reasoning, I guess. I don't know if that's the right word. The idea that when you're programming, the main thing isn't the syntax, although the syntax is massively important. The main thing with programming is knowing how to solve a problem. So I have a function over here, and this function grabs a list, and then it sorts it out, and it sorts it out by the length. So we get this list over here. We then reverse that list. So instead of going from pear, apple, banana, we now iterate through it by xberry, orange, banana, apple, pear. That's what this for loop here does. And then we just add it on to this previously declared list. And then when we return it, we get what we want, the reversal of this, which is right there. This is just another way to do it, is using this comprehension. Now, obviously this is, it's redundant because you could just do this where you sort out the list and then you just do x dot reverse. But the reason why I'm showing you this is because there's more skills than the syntax. For example, now you know the reversed in the for loop, and it's mainly just trying to solve a problem using other ways. It's why when you do programming, you might learn how to do bubble sort, because nobody actually uses bubble sort. You'll just use sort or sorted, but it's supposed to just build a mental bridge. So when you're watching tutorials, this one or others, just remember and keep that in the back of your mind. Now, I cannot go past a custom function without mentioning lambda, considering lambda is a one-off function which is beautiful. So over here, all we're doing is we're grabbing the word, so banana, for example, or apple. We're then accessing the last letter of it, and then we are sorting it by that. So banana, the last letter of banana is E. So that is front because A is the first letter of the alphabet. Then it's E, then it's R, then it's Y. Remember that apple and orange is like that because both of them have an E. But you should also remember that what goes into sorting stuff is obviously what this is, the end letter, but also the Unicode characters. So if you have the exact same words, like uppercase A, lowercase a, and then another one, uppercase A, lowercase a, I think, something like that, then it would determine which one goes first based on how many Unicode points it has. That's something I will explain way below, which I think falls under the next video. But just keep that in mind on the back of your head if something is not exactly how you think it would. Unicode, by the way, is just a universal way that computers understand characters. So each letter has a different, or each symbol has a different binary configuration to it. So that was a lot on sorted, the function. Now I'm going to go on sort, the method. Over here, we have a very similar configuration to here, where we have a list of fruits, and we are going to be sorting them based on the length. So the exact same thing, pear, apple, banana, orange, xberry, for the exact same reason. And note that I'm redefining fruit, which is not what I did over here. And that's because fruit is now sorted. So I've now changed the actual value of fruit. So when I'm gonna show another example, I'm gonna have to redeclare what fruit is. And the same thing happens when you do reverse and length. You get banana, orange, xberry, apple, pear, which is what happened over here, for the same reason. And the solution is the same as well, dot reverse. And same with the lambda function. It just goes to the end of it and sorts it by that character, which is the same here. So that is the end of the more simple side of sort and sorted. I'll go over the more complex stuff, such as using it with dictionaries on part 2, which you can find on the end screen here. I'll see you there.